Hello Tigers, and welcome to the TMNtv Newscast for Wednesday, June 27, 2018. Stay tuned for the latest news at Fort Hays State University and around the nation. I'm your news anchor Jane Mount, and Haley White will be along later with sports. But first, here's what's making news in Tigerland. The cost of college education will continue to rise this year. The Kansas Board of Regents approved all 6 proposals by the public state universities for the 2018-19 academic year during a 2-day meeting on June 20th and 21st. The increases range from 2.8% at the University of Kansas Lawrence campus to 1.1% at Kansas State University in Manhattan. The Fort Hays State University's tuition will increase by 2.5% while still maintaining the lowest tuition in the state. These increases were claimed by Kansas Secretary of State and Republican primary governor candidate Chris Kobach as a result of granting in-state tuition to illegal immigrants. The Associated Press has disputed this claim, citing the continuing decline of state funding to the universities. The state legislature did reinstate some funding to public universities, according to FHSU Vice President of Administration and Finance, Mike Barnett.
The money that you're seeing spent on education is K through 12, not higher education. The legislature did give us back $15 million, not Fort Hays, but the system in general, that they had cut in 2016. So it was what you saw, new money to higher education was actually a restoration of money that had disappeared in 2016. Total then was $24 million, give or take. So they restored about 70% of it, 75% of it, something like that.
The Kansas Supreme Court has ruled the school funding laws passed during 2017 and 2018 do not meet requirements set in the state constitution. In a unanimous decision, the court said the enacted laws could meet the requirements by, quote, timely making financial adjustments in response to the problems identified with the state's chosen remediation plan and its accompanying calculations. Governor Jeff Collier praised the ruling in a press conference at Jabara Airport in Wichita.
When I became governor earlier this year, I outlined several priorities for solving the educational problem. The focus was that we would not close schools, we will keep them open. We were focusing on more money into the classrooms and actually getting outcomes for our schools, and we got it done. The most important thing that happened today is that the Supreme Court rules that the schools will remain open. Schools will not be closed in the state of Kansas. That threat is gone. I made a commitment to the people of Kansas to keep those schools open, and we are. And we're moving this ball forward here. I'm very pleased about a very important part of the ruling that the court made, and that was that all schools were found to be equitable. That means that every kid, whether they be in Wichita or Hays or Johnson County or Galena or Ulysses, that they all have the same educational opportunity under this ruling. And that is very important for every kid across the state.
While the governor lends his support to the issue, others are not so sympathetic. Kansas Secretary of State and Republican primary GOP candidate Chris Kobach has said he opposes the decision and that the business of funding schools belong to the representatives of the people, not 7 unelected judges. The Kansas State Legislature has convened for the 2018 session and will begin their 2019 session after midterm elections. University Relations reported FHSU Leslie Page recently was selected as president-elect of the National Association of School Psychologists. Page is the director of the Office of Scholarship and Sponsored Projects. The professional organization, representing more than 25,000 school psychologists, graduate students, and related professionals throughout the U.S. and 25 other countries, is the world's largest organization of school psychologists and works to advance effective practices to improve students' learning, behavior, and mental health. Page has held leadership positions on the NASP Board of Directors, including Treasurer and Secretary. She has chaired and co-chaired numerous committees. She also has been a member of the Prepare School Crisis Prevention and Intervention Training Curriculum Work Group and the Strategic Planning Committees. Severe storms struck the area once again during the weekend. While rain amounts were not as heavy as in the past few storms, the main culprit this time was high winds. Logan and Gove counties reported straight-line winds that reached up to 100 miles per hour, downing numerous branches up to 9 inches in diameter and uprooting large trees in Oakley. The 105-mile-per-hour gust was reported in Grinnell in Grove County, and a tree a foot in diameter was snapped in Colby, located in Thomas County. The high winds left many northwest Kansas residents cleaning up after the storms rolled through Sunday night. Power was knocked out due to high winds in some towns of southwest Kansas, and a grain bin was destroyed and blown 100 yards near Liberal, according to the National Weather Service. Large hail also hit portions of northwest Kansas late Saturday night. While rain chances are expected to diminish as the week progresses, we will see a return to triple-digit heat and high winds. Storms also impacted southeast Kansas on Tuesday night as a tornado hit the town of Eureka, injuring 8 people. Numerous homes and businesses were damaged, as well as the high school. Students from Xinyang Normal University in China recently got an up-close look at Fort Hays State University and the state of Kansas on a week-long trip. SNU is a Chinese partner university of FHSU. Tiger Media Network's Juwin Su has this look at the first day of the students' trip to Hays.
20 students from Xinyang Normal University attended a summer camp at Fort Hays State University, located in Hays, Kansas. The annual summer camp lasts 7 days, ending on the 25th, and was established to provide a fun learning experience for those who live abroad, introducing them to Fort Hays and local and American culture, as well as teaching them about the judicial system. The students' flight arrived at the Hays Regional Airport Monday afternoon. Luggage was loaded into a bus, and once everyone had a chance to take pictures and look around the airport, they were brought to McManus Hall on the FHSU campus, where they checked into the rooms they would be staying in for the days to come. Students were then directed to a classroom where Suzanne Rose, Residential Life's director of Custer Hall, explained the rules for living in the dorms during their stay in Hays. Dinner was provided at Geller's Diner, a local favorite, where they tasted food inspired by Volga German culture, a culture on which Hays was founded. In this frame, Cindy Elliott answered questions about Hays. To end the day, the students were taken on a tour of Hays, where they learned about the local history and locations around town. They also had the opportunity to go to Walmart to purchase food for the days to come. More stories about the summer camp and the students from Xinyang Normal University will be coming soon. Tomorrow, they will be introduced to Fort Hays State University while exploring the campus. For more news on campus, be sure to stay tuned with the Tiger Media Network. For TMN, I'm Junwen Su.
As the immigration debate continues to stir in the U.S., the Tribune News Service is reporting U.S. Border Patrol agents have stopped handing parents over to the judicial system for prosecution and instead are sending them back across the border. Last week, President Trump also ordered an end to the separation of families if they are caught crossing the border. On Twitter, Trump said the U.S. will continue to work to stem illegal immigration. We want a system where when people come in illegally, they have to go out. And a nice, simple system that works, he said. According to the U.S. law, people caught entering the country illegally are entitled to an asylum hearing if they claim they will be persecuted in their own country. In many cases, judges reject the claims and immigrants are deported. The U.S. also is in a process of building portable structures to house those caught illegally crossing the border. It is believed the space could house up to 20,000 migrants. Immigration talks continue on Capitol Hill in Washington as legislators try to find an adequate solution to the problem. Those are the stories making headlines in the world of news this week. After we return from this short break, Haley will be here with your sports update.
Here at Fort Hays, we believe in experiential learning. If you're interested in digital media production, coming to a school that can get you a degree gives you an organized, methodical way of learning about the field.
We like to make sure students get the tools they need and then have the freedom to go and do what they want with it as well.
Software-wise, we've got all the Avid tools and we've got all the Adobe tools. We also have certification programs with the Avid certifications for video production, audio production, and newsroom management.
I've gotten so much experience here that I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. All the students are basically just one giant team. So it's just like a big family here. So I think if you're interested in media, you should definitely check out Fort Hays State.
In the digital media concentration, you're going to come away with skills as a creative storyteller. Everybody's using video on the internet. Somebody has to produce that, and it could be you.
The talented prospect Lael Collins from LSU.
For a touchdown by Mike Evans.
Bobby Dale Earnhardt, grandson of the late NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt and nephew to Dale Earnhardt Jr., continues the legacy on the track as a professional racer. Bobby Dale made an appearance in Kansas on June 22nd and 23rd to return to his grassroots where his great-grandfather and grandfather began racing, on a dirt track. Earnhardt was scheduled to race at the Salina Speedway on Friday, but was not able to hit the track due to rain. On Saturday, the rain held off long enough for all of the heats scheduled to race to compete. Earnhardt drove the IMCA number 66 modified for Jerry Phillips Racing, where he finished 8th in his heat. It's a special night at RPM Speedway where racing fans gather at the dirt track in Hays to watch a night full of excitement and competition. Not only was it the track's Tough Enough to Wear Pink night, but a member of a well-known racing family was to make an appearance at RPM Speedway. Bobby Dale Earnhardt, grandson of the late NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt, traveled to Kansas to race on the type of track where his grandfather's exceptional career began, on dirt.
My first time here, we went to Salina last night, got rained out, so hopefully we can get this one in tonight.
Bobby Dale drove the IMCA number 66 modified for Jerry Phillips Racing.
I'm here with Jerry Phillips Motorsports. Got to thank, if it wasn't for Dacus and Main Street Wrecker and Vintage Glass, Rod's Tire and all them sponsorships, I wouldn't be up here, so I got to thank them, those guys. I'm ready for a fun weekend.
The public enjoyed a meet and greet and autograph signing with Earnhardt prior to the races. Fans were able to purchase a 66 Bobby Earnhardt t-shirt in support of the racer. The projected storms for the evening stayed clear long enough for all of the heats of the race to compete. Bobby Dale ended the night finishing 8th, starting at number 9 in the second IMCA modified heat. From Tiger Media Network, I'm Haley White. Earnhardt would finish the modified feature 21st as the race was won by Clay Sellard. Jason Rogers won again in the stock car feature, while Blaine Walt took home the win in the sport mod feature. Garrett Hager kept his hot streak alive by winning the hobby stock main event, and Richard Crowe was the top finisher in the sport compact feature. Racing returns to RPM Speedway on July 14th and 15th with the Ellis County Fair races featuring the URSS 305 sprint cars along with the rest of the regular IMCA classes. The Hays Larks had a 3-game winning streak snapped Monday night as the Dodge City A's grabbed a 6-2 win at Larks Park. Tiger Media Network's Ju-In Sue captured these sights and sounds from Monday night's game.
I said, see? You can't see it, you can't see it.
The Larks are now 15-5 overall, entering a Wednesday night game at Dodge City. Hayes begins a 3-game series with the Hayesville Aviators on Friday at Larks Park. The knockout phase of the 2018 World Cup is set to begin Saturday in Russia, as France will play Argentina and Uruguay will play Portugal. The host Russians will play Spain the next day, and Croatia will play Denmark. The top 16 teams make the knockout phase of the tournament, with the final match slated for July 15th. Things didn't begin well for Sporting KC on Saturday against the Houston Dynamo. Sporting fell behind 2-0 early, then put together one of the more memorable games in the organization's history by rallying for a 3-2 win. It was the team's first win at home against the Dynamo since 2011. Daniel Shalhoub, Diego Rubio, and Kyrie Shelton all scored for Sporting, with Shelton's game winner coming late in the match. Sporting KC provided us these highlights from Saturday's match.
And his side looked for their first win on this field in MLS play against the Houston Dynamo since their playoff cup run in 2013.
Early couple of touches on the ball have certainly calmed the nerves.
Here's Iko Para, Sporting KC, with a sloppy touch, and here's Mauro Manotas with the left foot, and like that, the Houston Dynamo have capitalized on a mistake in the back, and they've drawn first blood here at Children's Mercy Park. Mauro Manotas.
Third, yes, Manotas still has a fair bit to do, but Iko Para gets caught dithering on the ball there in his own defensive third.
Man down for Sporting Kansas City. Iko Para goes into a challenge with Martinez. Advantage is played here. Beasley across to Manotas, and it's in.
Park, one with Roger Espinoza as well. Really clumsy tackle from Iko Para. The back four is all out of sync. Certainly is the case. You take your foot off the gas a little bit when you're 2-0 up.
Here's Jalen Lindsay, his cross in, and a diving header by Espinoza, a fantastic fingertip save by Joe Willis.
Ball down, it bounces up off the hard turf, hard surface, and it's a nice move as Lindsay progresses down the left-hand side.
Has to put the cross in with his left foot. It falls to Gerso, and a punching save. The rebound is in. Daniel Shalhoub has pulled one back. Shalhoub wins the turn. Play on the advantage, says the referee. Here's Espinoza. Back for Shalhoub, who's up on his feet. He's already got one goal. Shalhoub going for another. Punched away by Willis. Here now. Albert Elise. Through to Manotas. Manotas, and a save by Tim Melia. He came well off his line and covered it. Fantastic work from Kyrie Shelton. Elie over to Zusi. Zusi measures it up, and boy, He got his laces through it, but right at the keeper, Joe Willis. Falls to Diego Rubio. Now Johnny Russell. Now Daniel Shallowy. Back to Rubio! What a goal! You simply cannot count Sporting Kansas City out. 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Sporting KC. And now here's a yellow card to be shown to Alexander, as Sporting might have wanted the advantage there. It's the second yellow card for Eric Alexander, so he is off to take advantage of the man advantage. Here's Daniel Shallowy. Across to Shelton! They were down! They were not out! Kyrie Shelton! Just his second goal as a Sporting Kansas City man. And it might have just capped an epic comeback for Sporting Kansas City.
Tucked as Kyrie Shelton and tucks it home. It's a wonderful finish, it really is.
And there's Kyrie Shelton, the man that stands to be the match winner.
In Daniel Shallowy, they had somebody playing number 9 in large portions of their first half, who was magnificent too.
And there's the final whistle. An epic comeback for Sporting Kansas City.
Western Conference leading Sporting ran its unbeaten streak to 9 matches and will look to improve on that mark with a 6 p.m. contest at the Montreal Impact on Saturday. After rain washed out the scheduled first game of the 3-game series Monday, the finals of the College World Series in Omaha got started Tuesday. Arkansas grabbed a 4-1 win over Oregon State, setting up an elimination game Wednesday night. If necessary, Game 3 will be Thursday. The Kansas City Royals are nearly leading all of Major League Baseball, although it's nothing to be proud of. The Royals' struggles this season have given them one of the worst records in the MLB through Tuesday. Kansas City was nearly 20 games behind American League Central leading Cleveland, and the Indians are the only team in the division above 500 for the year. The Royals began a series at Seattle on Friday. We end this segment on a sad note in the sports world. World of Outlaws sprint car driver Jason Johnson, known as the Raging Cajun, died after injuries he suffered in a horrific wreck while competing Saturday night at Beaver Dam Raceway in Wisconsin. The 41-year-old was battling for the lead when his sprint car came into contact with another car. His sprint car flipped violently multiple times, going through a billboard before ending up outside the racing surface. Jason was flown to a regional medical center where he later succumbed to the injuries he sustained. Johnson had more than 250 wins in his sprint car career, including 12 World of Outlaws victories and 5 American Sprint Car Series championships. He won the 2016 Knoxville Nationals in Iowa, the sports Super Bowl of racing. The Eunice, Louisiana driver is survived by his wife Bobby and his 5-year-old son, Jax. Through a team representative, Johnson's wife said, quote, "His dream was to race, to beat the best and try to be the best. And that's what he did. He lived his dream." Tiger Media Network reached out to the World of Outlaws organization, which provided us this tribute they put together of the talented racer.
This is incredible. Number 22 taking things over. Jason Johnson, he takes the checkered flag for his first World of Outlaws win.
Oh, definitely. I mean, to come here to Texas, I lived in Greenville, Texas for 3 years, driving the landing route. To come to Texas and win here is a dream come true.
Meeting the Cajun sensation opens the Cleveland Brothers Summer Nationals for victory at Williams Road Speedway. Tonight he's headed the victory lane. Jason Johnson redemption at the Placerville Speedway.
That's all we have for this episode. Check back next week for another TMNtv Newscast. To stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit targetmedianet.com. We will return in 2 weeks, so have a safe and fun 4th of July. Until then, remember, roar Tigers.
The Tiger Media Network is Fort Hays State University's independent student media organization. It's a student employment opportunity where you can work for either the news side or the sports side. So you can be on live sports production, which produces all of the live sports broadcasts that we do, or you could be on the news side and do news stories covering things on campus. So presidential announcements, Student Government Association. We bring that news to the student community and the Hays community as well.
You don't realize how much Fort Hays State has to offer until you're here.
I mean, it is definitely, this is the land of opportunity here.
I just got back from the MIAA tournament in Kansas City a couple weeks ago where we worked with other production crews including Pitt State and Central Missouri. And it's a great time. I've gone there the last couple years.
For me anyway, I get to do sports, which is what I love. And if live productions is where that's at.
This is the perfect place to do it. We have almost everything that you could possibly imagine.
Tiger Media Network allows you the opportunity to take the skills you've learned and put them forward in a real world, real application setting that allows you to flourish and grow as a professional, and that will only help you and benefit you when you graduate and go into the real world workforce.